Okay, so a bit of a personal update for you guys. Last Christmas, we had such a surreal Christmas, and I shared this in a video here. I think it was called a personal update. You guys can go watch that video if you want. But we had something tragic happen in the family. December 17th, my niece, my 23-year-old niece that lived with us, she was my wife's older sister's daughter. She had been living with us about 5 years, 4 or 5 years. Her name is S.D.N.Y. She ended up tragically and unexpectedly passing away. And it was a really rough Christmas season for us because we went from having an amazing Thanksgiving, having an amazing year as a family. We had went on some different trips, and we went to Disneyland together, and we were really in a fun space. And then she tragically passes away. And so our Christmas last year was spent grieving and planning a memorial and a celebration of life. Now, S.D.N.Y, thankfully, in the last 6 months of her life, really turned it around, was walking with Jesus, was doing an amazing job of just trying to press into Jesus. She was going to church every Sunday. She even started a Bible study. And so it was like, we knew that she was in a good spot despite the tragedy of her passing away. And so in that, man, I went through a personal grieving time. And like outside of the personal grieving time, I will just say that like death has a way of really putting stuff into perspective. I had an incredible 2024 year in every measurable way. But man, none of that matters when you consider family and when you consider loss and you consider death. It really does a sobering number on you when you go through tragedy like that. And the trippy part about all of that was not knowing how long I was going to stay into this in this place of grief, right? Like I remember traveling and being on a layover flight and just like sobbing and then being afraid of like, man, is this it? Like, am I always going to be this broken, right? And so, long story short, we walked through the process of all of that and went through a pretty rough Christmas and New Year. I told you guys earlier that we ended up canceling the 40th birthday me and Levi were going to have together. We were going to have a joint birthday party. His birthday is November 17th. Oddly enough, our editor here, Chris, got married on November 17th. So we ended up saying, okay, we're just going to do a big birthday bash for you and me. I'm turning 40, you're turning 10. And then S.D.N.Y passed December 17th. Now, fast forward to 2025, this stuff definitely affected me. We stayed consistent and committed, but it definitely did a number on me, especially because this was someone in my household. Her last moments alive and conscious were with me. I walked in on her basically passing away, and then called 911, and then I wasn't sure if like I called him in time. I think I waited a few minutes and ended up finding out after the fact that I did everything I could do. And so like I carried the weight of that, carried the practical memories of that, not being able to go to sleep, not being able to stop with the intrusive thoughts. It ended up basically started to listen to like Mike Winger every night to help put me to sleep. Something about his voice is very soothing. And going into 2025, it had a number on me. Thankfully, I had an amazing therapist who was on the phone with me, like in the middle of all of it, like as it's looking like, hey, she's going to pass, because they initially got her to the hospital and they're like, hey, she's going to pass. As all of that, walked through the process, and by the grace of God, man, we ended up having an amazing celebration of life at the end of January, I think it was. My pastor preached the gospel at it. I'm pretty sure there was probably close to a dozen salvation moments. So even in S.D.N.Y passing, people were coming to Jesus. And it was a beautiful gathering. And then from that, you're dealing with all the practical family stuff and all of that. And we walked through that. And then in the middle of all that, oddly enough, me and my wife, who we thought were done having kids. We had Levi, who is, he was 10 at the time. Zoe is 4. We ended up getting pregnant, unplanned, surprise, and really unexpected. And a part of me, and there's a deeper testimony to all this that I may share in more detail at some point, but a part of me was like, Lord, this is almost too good to be true, if you will, right? That we go from crazy loss to this amazing blessing of new life. And even in that, like, I then had to deal with the intrusive thoughts of like, what if something goes wrong? And I'll spare you all those details, but definitely like battling in my own mind for that sort of stuff and working on it with my therapist. And then like brothers like JP, Jonathan Pokluda, praying for me. In the middle of all this, like I have Godly Ambition coming out. I can't just cancel the book launch. So we got the book coming out. And man, let me just say, like, I'm not gonna sit here and act like everything is good in the sense of like I don't still deal with some of the intrusive thoughts and I don't still deal with some of it. But man, a year removed, and the miracle of new birth and the contrast of having Luke Pascal, which he was born November 12th, was incredible. It's this really bizarre, almost movie-like situation where we go from planning a memorial last Christmas to welcoming in new life this Christmas. And Luke is now 6 weeks as of today. He's healthy, he's happy. Levi's 11 years old. We actually did celebrate his birthday this past year. Zoe's gonna be 5. And the sting of death is still real. And we still talk about Dasani, we still think about Dasani. We tell stories about Dasani. And so that all of that is still real. And my kids still ask questions. My Zoe will ask questions about Jesus coming back to life and the resurrection of the dead in the future and how Sani's in heaven with Jesus. She talks about him a lot. We talk about her. She talks about her a lot. We talk about the situation a lot. But the contrast of the two very different Christmas seasons, I think, is something that some of you may relate with, right? Like that you can go through a year that's awesome and then go through a year that's rough. Or you can go through a year that's rough and then have a year that's awesome. And I'm sharing this one just to kind of give you guys a personal update. I don't talk about my family a lot, but I want you guys to get that from me in terms of what we've been going through. And then 2, for those of you guys that this Christmas season, you are, you're having a hard time. The holidays are tough, right? Like for us, for me, let me not speak for us, but for me, the 1-year anniversary felt weird. That the year seems to have flown by, and then almost feeling convicted and guilty for not still grieving the way I was last year. Like all of these things are so weird, and it just goes back to show that like we're not wired to be dealing with this sort of stuff as humans. Like we're not wired to be dealing with the sting of death. Like life was not intended to be this way. And yet, despite all of that, like sin enters the picture and people make decisions and things happen and life gets messy and complicated and death is a reality. But I think, it just reminds us that like, man, there is a life to come after this. And so again, I'm sharing this because if you're going through a hard Christmas this year, if you're going through a tough season this year, if you're going through family stuff, financial stuff, health stuff, I want you to know that Jesus is near the brokenhearted. That in Matthew 5, verse 3, it said, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth." And so this idea that, man, Jesus comforts those who mourn. Jesus comforts those who are grieved, right? I'm looking in the original Greek right here for sad, grieved. And I know that even in this, like, you might be thinking like, oh, good for you, Ruslan. Like you had a rough season, now you're in a better season. It's like, yeah, good for you, dude. Nice story. Well, I'm sharing this because any single one of us can go in and out of good seasons. Every single one of us has issues and stuff that we're all working through. Every single one of us is going to face trouble in this life according to Jesus. And so the question is, when we go through these hard times and we go through these struggles, what is our response going to be? And I could speak for myself and my family, man. We just held on to Jesus with everything we had. And if you're going through a tough season right now, if this whole year has been hard, or maybe you feel like you're can't see, or you're up from you're down, and it's been tough, my biggest encouragement to you: just keep holding on to Jesus. Just keep holding on to Jesus. That's all I could do this time last year. I just kept holding on to Jesus. I kept walking through the things that he had in front of me. I kept being faithful. I took time off. I went to therapy. I did everything I could to make sure my family was good, but I kept hanging on to Jesus. And it's not that he just magically makes everything go away. It's that he makes sense of the suffering. And there's various degrees of suffering that we're all going to go through. And so hopefully this serves as an encouragement to some of you guys. Hopefully this serves as a word that, like, man, regardless of where you are, you're not too far removed from being comforted by the Lord. Even if you're alone this Christmas, even if you're struggling, even if you're going through it. So hopefully that encourages you, and hopefully that gives you a bit of an update in terms of what I'm going through and what we've been going through. And finally, like, man, having a new baby is amazing. And we have such a good church family around us, such amazing pastors around us that, you know, they rallied around us going through the grief. And then when we had the baby, they rallied around us. There was always food and people making sure we were taken care of. We have such an amazing community of folks that, you know, that we're close to, that go to other churches. Like, we had really good family over last night that our kids were together. We do a Christmas tradition where we watch Home Alone and eat pizza every Christmas. Which, by the way, Home Alone 1 is definitely a Christian movie, but that's neither here nor there. But I think the other side of all of this feels awesome, and I am excited for the new year. Excited for the Bless God Summit. Excited for the tour. Excited for all of the things that the Lord is doing. I'm starting to work on my second book. About to start putting together the proposal for that, and yeah, it's a very interesting time to juxtapose these two Christmases. So anyway, guys, hopefully that encourages you. Hopefully that blesses you. I know it was a bit different, just kind of speaking from the heart. We will be back, I think, the next week. If you love what we're doing, pick up something for the Christmas sale still happening. Get yourself one of the Devos, prayer journals, some merch. This jacket, I'm going to cut the prices on this jacket just because we want to get you guys those. Those of you guys have been waiting. This is a reversible Japanese salvage denim jacket. It's, the whole shop's 15% off. And yeah, I'm going to slice the prices on this a bit too. Bless God Summit is happening. The tour is happening, all that next year. If you guys want to come hang out with me, I'll be coming to a city near you: Dallas, Houston, Chicago, Oakmont, DC, New York, Los Angeles, Tampa, Atlanta. Bless God Summit. So this is happening. I'll be doing a keynote, incorporating some new music, and doing a live podcast. And then again, blessgodsummit.com. You can check it out. Myself, Wes Huff, Ninjas and Butterflies. The lineup is stacked. Okay, so check that out.